entered the 2019 season last year with a lot of hype, but they failed to meet expectations, finishing with a 6-10 record. A big reason with that was because Baker Mayfield looked out of sync in the offense, partially because of coaching, offensive line, and other things like that. ESPN.com took a look at Baker Mayfield as the biggest variable to the Browns succeeding in 2020. A lot of offseason moves were made to help make him better, including shoring up the offensive line by adding Jack Conklin, Jedrick Wills, bringing in a top tight end in Austin Hooper, and changing coaching in Kevin Stefanski. They projected a floor and a ceiling for the Browns in 2020. The floor being 6-10 and the ceiling being 11-5. Les, D-Man, if the Browns are able to succeed in 2020, it's going to be because of Baker Mayfield. A lot rests on him. So my question to you guys is, can the Browns succeed in 2020? What kind of year do you think Baker Mayfield will be able to have?
Well, they don't succeed if Baker Mayfield doesn't have a great year. They are fortunate they have depth in a lot of places, and that depth is a problem for a team that isn't that good. But this team is good. Can they stay away from the major injuries? Well, they've had one or two already, and that is a problem. But I think that Baker Mayfield is everything is set to go in his favor with the new coach and the kind of players they got to back up. I think this could be a good year for Baker Mayfield.
I agree with you, but here's the thing. We just got done talking about Case Keenum as the ideal backup, and one of the reasons he's ideal is because if Baker goes down, you don't feel like your season is a waste when Keenum comes in. You feel like he's a backup who can actually win you some games, or at the very least manage you to victory. Therefore, I don't know about that floor being 6-10. I guess if Baker is bad and they make him play the entire season, I guess 6-10 is probably the floor. But I'm thinking more along the lines of, if Mayfield goes down, would your season be sunk? And I don't think it necessarily would be, because I think Case Keenum is a good enough backup that he can actually come in there and help you get where you want to go.
You didn't say it till near the end right there about Keenum, but you take a look at the other teams in the division in Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati. If their quarterback gets hurt, it's a whole new game at that point. Whereas at least the Browns should be able to be somewhat effective with Keenum. You don't look at any of the backups for the other teams in the division and say, "Oh, we got to be careful with those guys. We got to devise something to stop them." And I don't think that's the case at all.
Yeah, unless the other thing I was going to say about that floor ceiling analysis is exactly what you pointed out. You could say that about pretty much every number one quarterback in the NFL. If that quarterback plays well, the team has a really good chance of playing well. If that quarterback doesn't, then the team doesn't. So, it's almost like an understood part of the dynamic that the top quarterback, or the number one quarterback on your depth chart, has to play well in order for you to succeed. But the point with the Browns is that Mayfield, given that he's the number one overall pick, given that a lot of moves were made to help him, he may be more important to a team's success than maybe another number one quarterback on the depth chart.
The Indians